Imagine a world where the air we breathe, the water we drink, and the soil we plant in are all polluted. Does it sound far-fetched? Well, this is not a scene from a post-apocalyptic movie. It's a stark portrait of our current reality. Every day, we unwittingly inhale toxic air and consume contaminated water. Our forests, the lungs of our planet, are shrinking at an alarming rate. Climate change? It's no longer a distant threat but a present danger, turning our world into a ticking time bomb. We're not just talking about abstract concepts here, these are tangible issues, touching every corner of our planet and every aspect of our lives. The situation is urgent and the clock is ticking. It's high time we woke up to the stark reality and took decisive action. This isn't a dystopian novel, it's our reality, but some countries are fighting back. Take a look at Costa Rica and Bhutan, two countries that have become champions of the environment. First, let's travel to Costa Rica, a small Central American country that has achieved something remarkable. Costa Rica once suffered from severe deforestation, but they've turned the tide in a major way. How, you ask? They did it by making a commitment to conservation and sustainable practices. They've implemented policies to protect their forests, and the results have been astounding. Today, more than half of the country is covered in lush green forest, a stark contrast to the barren landscapes of the past. But Costa Rica didn't stop at reversing deforestation. They've also made impressive strides in renewable energy. The country now generates an incredible 98% of its electricity from renewable sources. That's right, 98%. They've harnessed the power of their rivers, volcanoes, wind and sun to power their country, drastically reducing their dependence on fossil fuels. Now, let's head halfway around the world to Bhutan, a small kingdom nestled in the Himalayas. Bhutan is a country that not only values the environment, but also recognizes the dire consequences of neglecting it. They've made environmental conservation a cornerstone of their national identity, so much so that they're the world's only carbon-negative country. Yes, you heard right, carbon-negative. This means Bhutan absorbs more carbon than it produces. And it's not by accident, it's a result of deliberate policies and practices, including maintaining at least 60% forest coverage at all times, and investing in renewable energy. These two nations, Costa Rica and Bhutan, may be small in size, but they've made monumental commitments to the environment. They've shown that it's possible to not only reduce environmental harm, but to actively improve our world. They've proven that economic growth and environmental sustainability are not mutually exclusive. They've shown us that it's not about the size of the country, but the size of its commitment to the environment. Then there's Denmark, a country that's blowing away the competition when it comes to wind energy. This Scandinavian nation is harnessing the power of the wind to an unprecedented degree, and it's paying off. Denmark, once heavily dependent on fossil fuels, has made a bold shift towards renewable energy, specifically wind power. Today, about half of the country's electricity comes from wind turbines. This is no accident. Denmark has been investing heavily in this renewable resource, constructing wind farms both on land and offshore. The Danish government has a clear goal in sight, to become carbon neutral by 2025. That's right, in just 1 year's time, Denmark aims to have zero net emissions of greenhouse gases. What's more, this transition to green energy hasn't been a burden on the economy. Quite the opposite. It's created jobs, spurred innovation, and even become a significant source of exports. Denmark is proving that a green transition is not only possible, but also profitable. So, what can we learn from these countries? Well, the actions of Costa Rica, Bhutan, and Denmark serve as a beacon of hope. These countries, despite their diverse geographies and economies, have shown that commitment to the environment is not just an ethical obligation, but a practical and feasible endeavor. In the heart of Central America, Costa Rica has championed renewable energy, demonstrating that a nation can thrive without relying on fossil fuels. Bhutan, nestled in the Himalayas, has prioritized maintaining a carbon-neutral status, proving that economic growth and environmental preservation can go hand in hand. And Denmark, a European powerhouse, has led the charge in wind energy, setting a precedent for developed nations around the globe. These countries are not just talking the talk, but walking the walk, leading by example and showing us that collective action is not only essential, but achievable. The clock is ticking and it's high time we followed in their footsteps. After all, there is no planet B.